Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Dana.
How are you?
I am good. You're in a new place today.
I'm in my home office.
Oh, nice. Oh, it's good to be around readers. I love seeing
Good to
books
be
on.
around readers.
Yeah, I see all the books on your shelves.
Yeah.
Hey, Dale,
Hi there.
how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
I uh, I just spent a couple days doing dad duty. Cassie was in Florida with a couple of her girlfriends. They do an annual trip, so it was me and the four boys, and I had two closings happen.
Well, how
Were
did
you,
you do with the boys?
were you ready to throw in the towel?
No, it was, man, it's great. It's great. One of them, it was probably the least compliant client I've had in, I don't know, 5 years. And she was a referral from another bro agent that they're friends. And the other bro agent didn't warn me.
Oh, that's not good.
No, I've never had this before. She would not talk to me on the phone. She wanted, like, we had to text every communication.
That's
And
a pain in the rear.
how do you like these are complex conversations?
Yeah.
And it was she had another she's an investor from California. She had another agent tell her she could sell it for 700. The truth was we could sell it for 450. I told her that last November. She insisted on 550. 60 days ago we finally dropped it to 450. And guess what?
It's sold.
Yeah.
I just had one of those closings 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So my client just dumped a ton of money in this two-bedroom house. Made a one and three-quarter bathrooms, and it's an old 1950s home or older. And I said, this is a, a 480, $450,000 house. And I almost didn't get the listing because he thought it's going to be worth six, 700,000. I says, no, you're dreaming. And it's on a busy, super busy road with a bus stop directly at the front door. And long story short, I get the listing. We put it, he wants like 700,000. I says, in the most expensive neighborhoods in Tacoma, it doesn't even support that. It doesn't even support 600,000. I
Yeah.
says, I would, I says, and then I went through the appraisal thing, as the checks and balances. So we put it on the market for 545, which is I told him 480. And
Right.
we get an offer in 3 days. Boy, mud in my face. I don't know what I'm doing. And he's excited and everything's going well. The appraisal
Doesn't
comes,
appraise.
it appraised at 480. And it wasn't a difficult house to market, I mean to price, because there was nothing on the market to sell. I said, you can kill
Right.
the deal if you want. I said, but there's nothing coming on the market that's going to raise the appraisal. I said, everything's based on the appraisal unless we find a cash buyer. I said, and the likelihood of that's 1%.
Right.
And so long story short, he was selling this house to buy his neighbor's house, which he is picking up 200,000 bucks in instant equity.
Gotcha.
And I says, you're not giving up anything, you're gaining. So we had to have this conversation. His dad's a commercial investor, and this guy's not stupid. He's bought and sold properties before, but he was the classic, my stuff is better than everybody else's. So long
Right.
story short, we sold it. He bought the neighbor's property. We're all done.
Nice.
But talk about
Uh,
a non-compliant client. I have one to tell you, but I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to jinx it because we have an offer and the appraisal came in yesterday. She won't communicate with me. The only thing we got to do to make this house sellable is strap the hot water tank. And I
yeah.
said, and I texted her last night because she won't pick up the phone. and I haven't heard from her yet. I said I can come by today and sort out the hot water tank, and she doesn't want to move, but she has to sell as an estate.
Gotcha.
But so she's putting up all these roadblocks. So when this thing closes, this is going to be a great story.
Yeah,
They're all good stories.
they are, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
My divorcing couple's been a lot of fun too.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Do you do 5, 6, 7s with those people?
It's hard to do because they don't agree on anything. So separately, I know what he doesn't even want the divorce, so he
Oh
would just
yeah.
as soon stay where they're at. But
I have one of those coming up too.
he's a
He
really
wants,
nice guy, but I can see where living with him would be annoying because he can only do one thing in a day. There's no two things. You got kids, there's more than one thing that happens in a day. He cannot do more than one thing in a day. He either works or he does something.
Wow. One of those two things.
One of those two things.
And neither shall they both meet, right?
No, I mean it's cost them because we couldn't get the house ready and they couldn't afford the payments. So what do you do?
Right.
All right, you don't get the house ready, we need to hire it done. And it's coming out of your closing. You're gonna lose money on it. It's up to you. You can either work in your yard or not.
What have they decided yet?
They got the stuff done and we're getting ready to close. Now getting
Nice.
them in off work long enough to sign papers is gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Dana, how did your buyers seminar, your retirement estate planning seminar go?
Well, we got it videoed, but there wasn't a whole lot of people that were there. The ones that were there said everybody needs to come to this. This is amazing information, but there weren't. We only had about 15 people there. So I was a little disappointed in that, but we videoed everything anyway. So I haven't
Nice.
finished going through the videos, but that'll be good video content.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. That'll be awesome. Be good to put as a little play, chop it up and put it as a playlist on YouTube.
Yep,
Do you put videos on YouTube?
I do. I have lots of videos on YouTube.
Oh, nice.
I don't always get them in your Dropbox because I can't find it anymore.
What would be a easier way to help you with that? Like, would it be helpful
Can
if
I
like
share my Dropbox with you?
maybe do you have a Dropbox?
I do. I'll share where my
Um,
videos go.
yeah. Um, let's look into that. See if you
All
can
right.
share it with me, and I'll see how I can possibly do that because that would be
Because then I
easier.
don't have to put them in two places, just one.
Right.
So that brings me to a memory. Charlie, you tried sending me a link to get on your calendar and they kept bouncing. And I could never sign up for a time.
All right. Let's just do that right now.
It was the discussion I think was gonna be that the low click rate or something like that. Go over some whatever we can do to improve that.
Oh,
I mean, you reached out to me.
to get more people seeing you, I think.
Yeah. And I tried uh two different, you sent me two different links.
Let's see. You're Pacific, correct?
Pacific, yeah, standard time.
All right, let's see. Do any of these times Monday work for you, Dale? Can you see my calendar?
Yeah, I can see it next Monday, the 11th. Boy, I'm wide open right now. So
Perfect.
11:45, let's do that.
What's your phone number?
253 381-9798. And
Email.
yeah, Dale at daleflayton. Okay, go dtflayton@gmail. There you go.
Oh. All right.
Thank
It
you.
is there. You should have that. Hey, Jerry.
Morning. Afternoon, I guess I should say.
Yep. Afternoon. Uh, have any of y'all read the book The Slight Edge?
What is it?
The Slight
Never heard
Edge. Yeah, I got that
The
one.
Slight Edge.
No, not heard of it.
I thought we'd
Right
talk
there.
about that today, kind of get your feedback on what with the way it happened. I met one of the most interesting real estate people that I'd met last week. They were referred from someone I'm in a software mastermind with. And this guy, he's done a ton of stuff in medical sales. He's like ran departments. He turned into a business coach, and one of his real estate clients said, "I want to hire you to be the CEO of my team." And so he kind of shared what they're doing, and they're basically like, they don't use by referral only, but they've built like a 33 touch system, and they run Bro basically for all their agents. And he's never been in production. Like, he is the CEO. Like, his whole thing is in leadership and Patrick Lencioni, and like his whole goal is to like not pick off the best leads, but to actually build a team the Bro way. And I was sharing, his friend connected us because he's got his database of 150, and his buddy was like, "Hey, look, you grew up in this town, thousands of people. You need to check out Referrals While You Sleep." And so as I was sharing it with him, he's like, "Dude, that's the Slight Edge." Like, it's just because I said the hardest part about Referrals While You Sleep is you don't miss the people who didn't hire you. Like, if I had a friend that hired someone else and I saw that listing in their yard, that's a pain. I feel it. But if I didn't lose that because I'm top of mind and they call me, like, I don't miss that pain. It's preventative. And the deals, and this is just doing small things, small consistent things over and over and over to get a massive result. That's kind of what he shared. I haven't read the book yet. I bought it. I've kind of read some summaries. Dana, what did you get from it?
Actually, this is one I haven't read yet, but I have it.
Oh, nice.
They've been doing this book club at work, and so I haven't gotten to the ones I picked out for me to read, but it should be a good book. You don't need a huge edge. You just need a little edge.
Just a little edge. Yeah. And so I've been using AI to kind of work with stuff, and I created this little presentation. I'd love y'all's feedback. It's kind of the Slight Edge with Referrals While You Sleep. Thought it'd be fun to talk through if I can. I think this is it. And kind of which I don't know if y'all seen this Gamma.app. It's my favorite little presentation software with AI. I literally just put an outline, and it created all of this for me in like a minute, which is pretty cool if it'll work. Like, one of the things that the Slight Edge talks about, which we all know, like we're talking, preaching to the choir, is the compound effect of doing little things that build trust. And like the way that all of us do business, we get the compound effect of a client last year is likely to become a client a few years from. They're likely to refer people. You know, with our database growing, and keeping in contact, like I think it's fair to say most agents, they're spending every 90 days, they're trying to find new people to trust them. Whereas we're just staying top of mind with people that already trust us that are likely to move. And the way I viewed it too is that let's see if this will do it. I've shared this before. I've kind of, the way I see it, there's 5 different critical moments in a real estate deal. First, you got to get the person to meet with you. Second, you got to get them to hire you. Third, you got to get the listing agent or the listing to like list a price that'll get a buyer, or the buyer to, you know, write an offer that'll actually get accepted. You know, like it's got to do that. Next, you got to get through the contingency period. And then finally, you got to get through the last 72 hours. Just like, you know, tell them all. I don't know what's going to happen, but something's going to come up that's likely going to blow up the deal. And with us, we work with pre-sold clients. And so like each one of these is so much easier, you know, like, of course they're going to meet with us. Like, I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer. I don't have any magic scripts for that. But like, hey, you know, what's a good time to meet for an IC with our pre-sold clients? Is that usually y'all's experience meeting with people, connecting with people? Like
Most of the people, even if somebody just calls off of, I had one that just came off a sign call, and we just got her approved with ODVA, which is subsidizes the interest rate.
Yeah.
And you know, she's working with Tracy, and she's working with me, and real easy conversations. She called on a house her sister wanted her to call on.
Yeah.
And and it was her folks' old place, but she didn't want to live there. She
Yeah.
knew that really wasn't a good area.
That's funny. Yeah.
But
How much
no,
of
she
it-
no problem getting people to come meet with us. I mean, we're pretty earnest, and they just like to come meet with us.
I've noticed like the more comfortable I am, like I know I'm going to have plenty of clients that when I do talk to someone, kind of just not having anything on it, just being relaxed doesn't seem to make it easier. Like, hey, this is how it is. You want help? Yes or no? The old George Strait song, check yes or no.
Simple question, right?
Yeah.
Dana, do you meet with a lot of people in person?
I meet with almost all my people in person.
On the real estate side, I guess that makes total sense. But you know, like for me as a lender, a lot of times the only time I meet the customer is at closing. So we've done everything via internet and Zoom call, and
That
so
wouldn't work with this person, though. She wants to meet in person. I mean, she
oh
met with Tracy via Zoom when she was in Idaho, but
yeah.
met with her this week in person. So
Yeah, I'm more than happy to do it in person. I prefer it because I can read people much better that way, but it's just not getting um, as many opportunities to do that over the course of the last, well, ever since COVID started. It just like really completely shifted um, the way I have to operate.
but you can't really show them a house without meeting them in person,
Right. Yeah.
unless you have somebody else go show up for you. But I like to meet with them. Alan likes to meet with them, so it's really not a problem.
Yeah. I
You guys
wish I could
enjoy
get
that part
everybody
of
to do it, but
right?
Yeah, I enjoy meeting in person, and I enjoy helping people make a real estate plan, which is even more fun. You know, how do you buy more other properties and rent them out, and it pays you to pay for the place? That's kind of fun.
Charlie, is there a way? I had a lead, an anonymous lead pop up and ask, how can I buy this house? So I texted her. It's the only way I could respond to her. Um, is there a way to fast track these people into our referrals while you sleep so they start seeing my content
What information do you have for them?
Nothing. I blasted an email and a text out to these contacts about a house with a $5,000 price reduction, and they were already in my system from a Facebook post, a boosted post that they clicked on it at one time, and I just went back in there and for everybody that had that hashtag, I sent them information on this house that we had a price reduction. And she just chimed in
Gotcha.
last night saying, "Hey, I'm interested in this house." So I'm just wondering, is there a way to get her on the list so that we're not waiting 2 or 3 months for her to start seeing my stuff?
Did she like something on your Facebook page?
It
Is
was a
that
boosted post. So
okay?
she didn't like anything on my page. It was, through my, um,
Through your business page?
it was through my website, my CRM. I just, it's KV Core.
Yeah,
And, you know, I just boosted the post for the client, the seller client, to get it out there and exposed. And she was one of those. So she knows nothing about me.
gotcha. Um, if you've got, so there's a way that we can get all the information from KV Core and import it. So yeah. Yeah.
Can we
And
do it consistently? Because you did it for me once already, but how do we do it? Every time I boost a post, I'd love to send those new contacts to you.
yeah, there could possibly be a way to do that through an integration. They've got like an API. And also it kind of depends. So you boost
Maybe
a
this is a
post.
conversation we can have, when we next Monday too.
Yeah. So you boost a post, they click the link, and then they fill out information on your website. Is that right?
Yeah, they somehow they get into the website. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And now they're a contact. I wouldn't
Gotcha.
call them a lead until they raise their hand.
Yeah.
And most people, after you start emailing them or texting them, um, they want to unsubscribe or something like that. But I still have their contact information.
Um, yeah. And also, like, if that post was boosted on your Facebook page, one of the retargeting things we do now is anyone that's viewed or um, clicked on anything or been to your Facebook page or Instagram page in the last year, they're part of your audience and they see your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the way that it ran through, which I'm not sure,
I
that
don't
that
think it
happens.
is. They haven't seen my Facebook page.
Gotcha. So KV Core has their own system that they do that through.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Well, we're set up next week. We can we can kind of
Maybe
look
make
at
a note of it.
how to do that
Yeah.
because we do that with Bro. We sync with my clients, so we can
Instantly.
probably
Yeah.
sync. Yeah.
And now I could take this person and put him in Bro. I'm just trying to, fast track.
Yeah.
And of all these people in KV Core, which there's probably, 2, 3, 4, 500 names, I have no idea who they are. And how long does it before referrals while you sleep starts going up? And by that time, I haven't communicated with these people in a year, so I'm a nobody to them.
Right. Right. Are they getting any of the 7 essentials or anything too?
No, they're not set up with Bro.
Gotcha. So are they in my clients or just KV
No,
Core?
just KV
Why
Core.
aren't they in Bro?
No, they're not in Bro.
You should put them in Bro.
I don't know how to do it automatically.
I bet there's a way to do that. Be worth checking to see if Bro can automatically import those the way that we did. But yeah, we'll when we meet next week, let's talk about how to automatically sync that. Yeah. Hey, Brad.
Hey.
There you are.
Hello.
Have you ever read the book The Slight Edge?
No,
We're talking about that. I was just referred to an agent that he said referrals while you sleep reminds him of the slight edge, which is the basics of, small, seemingly insignificant things done consistently over a time creates a slight edge that ends up creating a massive compounding effect. And the idea that just, pre-sold clients, people that trust us, like every step of the transaction can often becomes easier, or at least easy, compared to working with people where like it seems like every step of the way it kind of gets harder and harder because they're getting more nervous and the trust isn't there.
yeah, yeah. Well, it all centers. I love that. I love that because what we're all looking for is a compliant client, is somebody that is easy in the process and fun. Really, I mean, like that's what I love about your rating scale for the incoming, because it's like, hey, that's such a weird thing to see on a real estate thing. Fun rating, right? I think that's like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm supposed to be having fun. This is like, I'm gonna go to sell real estate again like a zombie all day, or Stu Loans, and it's just like I want to work with people that light me up, and so I because I want to light them up, and I'm receiving that back, and that's what a compliant client is. It makes us happy. So yeah, those. I mean, as far as the title of that book, I mean, hey, I'll take any improvement, but yeah, slight or big, but anything that gets us
Hey,
to that
come here.
compliant, anything that gets us to that compliant client is so critical, and getting back to why I love that title of that book and that idea is because that's what we all want, is something that's going to help us get to more compliant clients quicker. And referrals while you sleep is doing that. It's giving you that somewhat seemingly slight. I mean, that the only thing I don't agree with it is like, I think that it's over time, it's not. I mean, I guess the title of the book is, slight edge, overtime, huge edge,
Yeah.
because that's what referrals while you sleep is, the way I see it, because it starts to compound as the more you do it, and then more it's out there.
Right.
But you got to be out there, because you won't know if it's, you won't really know until you start talking to people. You either got to be seeing people or talking to people on the phone, because that's when they say, hey, I saw you blank. I saw you blank. I saw you on this website. I saw you on Facebook. So I think that's another key point.
Yeah, I was even thinking of so one of my favorite things with AI right now is I ask it to explain things like there's this famous professor named Professor Feynman that was known for like really making things simple. And he compared it to like dark matter. Like you don't actually measure dark matter. It's the absence of something. And so like measuring the absence of stress, the absence of not being able to sleep at night because I'm afraid the client may fire me tomorrow. The absence of, knowing that it's going to be an argument all the way down to the end. Like how do you measure it? So it's kind of the fun, like, was this fun or not? Was this easy? Did they accept my um accept my suggestions? Because I mean, to me, that's the whole goal. Like, how can I perpetually just be in front of people and get them to trust me so that I can just work my magic, so to speak. I like what Dana said. What do you call it, Dana? Your home the system that you like working with. Where they can buy multiple homes, their home buying plan or something. Oh, you're muted.
I was yelling at the dog. real estate planner.
Oh, what is that you do? What is that?
It's a KW community, and we're certified in like 8 areas. So
Gotcha.
one of them's probate, trust, 1031 exchanges. I mean, it's a lot of different things. Divorce. So it's a good thing, but you sit down with a client and, you know, if they want to learn how to invest in real estate, you help them do that. And you help
Gotcha.
them create a plan so their heirs aren't fighting in the end.
So their heirs aren't fighting in the end?
Yeah.
No.
Because
That's
their heirs end up fighting in the end all the time.
Yeah, I want to know more. I want to know all about that. How do you stop that? How do you be preemptive in that? Tell me more. Tell me more, Dave.
So what you do is you sit down with them and you either help them transfer it into a DST or homes near where the kids live, so that the kids help pick out their inheritance and they get the stepped up basis. So they can add to it if they want to buy something more, but it just enables the client to be able to choose how their kids get their real estate in the end.
What would you say of 10 people that you work with that were like an older couple like that that are open to that type of thing? You know, where
They have to be affluent enough they don't need the money, but that happens. I mean,
yeah.
a lot of them, a lot of the seniors I'm working with are going into assisted living, so most of them need the money to be able to pay for the assisted living. But if you get somebody that has 10 rentals, you can make that happen for them pretty easily and make a good plan that the kids get the homes with the stepped up basis in an area where they would rather have them. So Oregon's landlord tenant laws we were the leaders in capping increases in rent. So, and getting someone out of the house is really hard unless you sell it. Somebody moves into it to buy it.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's the right tool for the right person. But you know, I do like the idea of what, you know, that's kind of the lead is, hey, you know, how to not make your heirs fight, even if it's not applicable to them, it will get their eyes on it, you know, in some kind of an advertising medium that you're doing. I mean, maybe if we're even like that's like a great duo video right there. I think, you know, talking about that because and then that the headline is something like, you know, how to not have your heirs fight, you know, when you pass, you know, something like that. And then, you know, some people might apply to them, and then even if not, it's a conversation starter.
But I met with a couple the other day that I met him at a networking event that I went to about a month ago, and we're working on getting them pre-approved right now for a rental that cash flows on its own. So their idea was, okay, let's turn our house into a rental, and it was a high-end home. And I'm going, I wouldn't turn this into a rental unless you want it destroyed.
Yeah.
They're going, what do you mean? And I said, well, renters don't treat homes like the owners do. So if you want this house with really nice hardwood floors and things kind of just damaged, go ahead and rent it. But I would rent something that's a little less expensive. And so they're working on getting pre-approved, and we'll see what happens with that. Now they only have one kid, so we don't have to make a plan to vest the real estate to multiple kids. But they're also looking at moving out of the area, and it's a good way for them to build some equity in something else.
Yeah. I love turning clients into multiple investors too. Like it cuts that 1 every 7 year timeline out.
Well, and they're, you know, you're not a typical agent. You know, a typical agent is one and done and forgets about them.
Right.
You're doing something different.
Yeah.
And one of my past clients introduced the two of us at this party. So
Yeah. And yeah, I enjoy working with those people too. Like in a lot of ways, me and Tony Ray, we did like the 7 video series on that. Like, in a lot of ways, it's simpler. Like, do the numbers work or not?
Yeah. Do the numbers work? If yes, move forward. If not, go find another house.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm guessing all of us on this call believe in real estate as an amazing investment vehicle with
Well, a lot of people in our area are moving their investments east. So they're moving people that have a lot of rentals are moving them to Kansas and Tennessee and South Carolina and other parts of the country where the landlord tenant laws are much better and the price is better. I mean, you can sell one of our homes here, buy 2 in Kansas, rent them both out in the cash flow, and you have twice the assets.
right.
And there will be growth in those areas in the future.
Yes.
Buy low, sell high.
And I hadn't thought about that because when me and Tony Ray, we didn't even talk about the step up basis.
The step up basis is super important, especially to
That's
somebody
huge.
that's older. I mean, that's, they bought the house 30 years ago and it's been rented all this time and they probably haven't done a whole lot of repairs on it. The step up basis, I mean, even if you just look at how we've only been here 22 years, we bought our house at 165 and I can sell it for 460 right now
Yeah.
without working at it. Just
Does
put
the
it on the
step up
market and be
basis
gone.
work? Does the step up basis work just for your primary residence or your
No,
investments as well?
it worked well unless they change the tax laws with Kamala in there, which they're trying to do. But right now, when you pass you get a stepped up basis
On
for
all your
federal
property.
tax. You might not get it on state income tax, but you get it on
Right.
federal capital gains tax.
That's huge. Did you
That's
know that?
huge, huge, huge. And you
Yeah.
want to tell people that. You want to say, hey, look, you want your kids to keep the money, right? You don't want your kids to lose the money. And a lot of estate planning attorneys will put the kids on the house so to minimize the Medicare damage.
Right.
But that's not the best solution for the kids. They're going to pay tax in the year that they sell the house. But if you want it
Right.
to go to the kids, do it a different way.
Right. Yeah. So then you've got
So if you got 3 kids,
depreciation.
how many kids do you have?
4.
You have 4 now. So you
Yeah.
have 4 kids. So you have 5 rentals.
Yeah.
One that you're going to use to pay for your care expenses, and the other 4 you could sell and buy one where each of your kids end up living.
Yeah.
You purchase it with them, so if they want something more, they can add to it. And you still hold the bulk of the cost basis. Then when it steps up in value when you pass, the kids get the house free and clear.
Wow. That's really cool. That's awesome.
Now there is a limit on that. They're going to put caps on it, I think.
Right.
But
Right.
I mean, still, 500,000 tax free is better than nothing.
Right. Right. Yeah. I didn't realize all your investments right now, you get the step up basis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we all agree that real estate's an amazing investment vehicle.
It's
And
an amazing legacy vehicle.
right. Legacy vehicle. Yeah. And how fun is it to convert your clients into doing multiple of those? Oh, I think we talked about that maybe 6 months ago. Like, imagine, like if I can get my clients to buy, a house every 3 years, because a lot of my clients, like when they get into this, like their original goal, like they want 10 houses, whether it's in 10 years or 20 years. That's kind of the number they always seem to set. But like, how much more valuable these, economic wise, the lifetime value of this client now
Huge.
is, I mean, exponential. And that's if, that's if they never end up, selling them to liquidate them, which, I tell all my clients, don't sell them, keep them, but sometimes that's what they want to do, whether to roll it into something else or whatnot. And, Tony Ray was talking about, like, he's probably got, I don't know, his goal is to have like 20 people that he's helping buy a home every year, to get to where they're going. Like, how cool would that be to start 2025 and you've got 10 clients or 20 clients that are looking to buy an investment, and then 2026 the same thing. Like, that's a great way to great fun, and you can just call them and say, I got a good one for you. He actually said he had a client. He said, all right, I've got a house for you. They said, all right, write up the documents. We'll sign it. Because they've already, they're past clients. They already know him. They've already done it. You don't, and so they just wrote up the contract and sent it over, and they did it. Like, talk about compliant client. It's hard to get more compliant than that.
Yeah,
it's one step away from saying, sign it for me.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
but it's a great tool to help people too. I mean, all your kids aren't equal. You have Max and not Max 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
So they're not equal. So how do you want to treat them? They all have different skill sets. They all are probably going to go to different schools. If they go to college, they might go to technical school instead. You buy a house near the college where they want to go to school, 1031 it into something else later.
Right. That's really awesome.
Or 1031 it into a Delaware statutory trust where you don't have to deal with the tenants.
Is that where it's like it's almost like a fund? Is that what that is?
Yeah, they're buying senior communities, which, after the baby boomers, those aren't going to be for a little while till the millennials start into there. They aren't going to be as well received, but I think they usually sell them in 5 to 7 years. And so you've got 5 to 7 years to decide, what am I going to do? What am I going to put it in, or just using it for a carryover? And they're buying Amazon warehouses, they're buying all kinds of different assets and student housing around colleges.
And lots of medical. They're doing a lot of medical buildings too, which I think is a smart one. As so many people are all banged up and not doing well.
So are they cash flow, or
they have different ones for different reasons. So if you need a lot of cash flow, put it into one that cash flows.
Gotcha. And can you 1031 out of that into like other property, like single family?
Yeah, they're going to sell it in 5 to 7 years. You can either 1031 into another one or something else.
What are their fees for selling?
I don't know that. I mean, they just sell them and buy something else that they need investors for.
It's minimal because there's so many people involved, and you're spreading out the cost. When I say people, are just so many. There's so many buyers that you're buying with, in that type of situation. So the cost isn't significant. I mean, it's just I think the thing about it is that works for people that just don't want the headache. They don't want to deal with tenants. They just want something simple.
There's a guy in your area doing it. I'll give you the information.
Okay. Because I was always interested in those DSTs, but back in the I'm going to say the early 2000s, there was a whole bunch of apartment complexes in Arizona, not Arizona, but Florida, that they were building, and then all of a sudden the market crashed and they couldn't rent them and they couldn't sell them. And so that's when I realized I didn't want to be in the multifamily market of DSTs, and I didn't know how easy it was to choose where your money would go.
It's pretty easy to choose which one you're going to be a part of.
Yeah.
Is there a list of them somewhere?
They're not super easy to find. Like there's one in Oregon that I don't know anything about and I've never heard of them. So I'm probably going to go with a guy out of California that does them all over the country.
Gotcha.
And you got to be a licensed financial planner to sell.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. And I guess if your clients do that, then that kind of cuts you out, right?
Well,
Yeah.
you're out on the purchase, yeah, but you're still going to do the sale, and it's a good way as a third choice to secure the 1031 exchange so they don't lose it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and sometimes some of them will pay you a commission. Like some of them do offer a commission. There's a company called King's Barn, and they're here in like Los Angeles area. But yeah, they offer commissions. So you know, because they a lot of times they'll contact, you know, agents that they've worked with, and they'll say, hey, you know, we're doing this, you know, to try to get more people in. Although they haven't done that lately because so many people are putting them in there because they're just it's just easier. I think kind of like what's happening in Dana's area where people are moving, you know, their investments east because of the tenant laws. We're also seeing a lot of that in California, obviously. So.
And do you have to keep it for the 5 to 7 years until they sell it? Is that kind of the
Yeah, your
agreement?
money's tied up for the 5 to 7 years.
Yeah,
Then you could do something else with it, but you could put it into some other asset that qualifies for the 1031 exchange at that time.
Yeah, that's the
You're
hard rules. Your money's tied up, but you know, there are ways, like if you're, you know, really wanting to get it out, you could, you know, somebody could buy you out or something. But
Yeah.
that's kind of the general.
It's your equity is tied up, not your monthly dividends and rent.
Right.
You're still receiving, whether it's dividends or whatever you want to call it, you're still receiving money on your investment. It's just your
Correct.
equity is tied up and you can't borrow against it either, I don't think.
No,
No.
no. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's America. Somebody
You wouldn't
will
want to do it with all your assets, but you
not
might want to
averages.
do it with one or two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it depends on what you have to live on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're trading convenience for you're losing some of the benefits of regular real estate. Yeah.
It's not like you own it and you can control all of it.
Right. Do you guys have how hands off is it when you've got clients that have really good property managers? Like, and does that make it pretty hands off, pretty simple, or is the DST like just way more, even like that much easier?
DST is completely hands off. I mean, if something happens to your house, you're still on the hook for fixing it, you know?
Right.
Even if your insurance doesn't cover what it is and you still have your deductible, but if you have an earthquake and it totals your house, your asset's destroyed.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Just depends on what happened.
Right. But I guess if you're in a DST and that happens, I mean,
Same
you've
thing.
kind of lost your
Same
value
thing.
too, right?
You're bound by insurance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your DST is not like that's not like it's a complete safe haven either. I mean, there are going to be some that could go wrong. It's just that it's such in general it's a lower risk because, you know, massive liability on their end, but
I probably wouldn't want one in Florida.
yeah.
On the coast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's I was looking at one. There was like a Tesla building or something. They're doing this thing. I'm like, well, you know, if the wrong president gets in, that's going to go down. But
Well, and it's just like, you know, there's a lot of DSTs for multifamily. I mean, these 100, 200 unit buildings. They're not independently owned by one or two people. It's usually a big investment fund.
Yep.
And so you wouldn't want to be buying into something like that for Seattle, for a location in Seattle or LA or,
But you can pick what you're
Portland.
buying too.
Yeah, I threw one in the chat. There's like a couple there, just the most recent options from that Kings Barn place, and you see just kind of the different things that they offer and the minimums that are that need to go into them, so you can kind of see them. I was looking for they usually had at least one medical building. I love the medical ones just because those are about as safe as you can get. I mean, just because, I mean, well, it's sad to say, but Americans are so sick in general, and they need health care, and that's that hopefully that gets fixed eventually, but that's not going to happen anytime in the next 5 to 7 years, and that's why I like these things, and DSTs with buildings that have healthcare tenants.
Somebody needs the money in 5 to 7 years for their care. That's not the right investment because you don't know when they're gonna need it.
Right.
But if they don't need it, it's the right investment. You just don't want just like you don't want all your eggs in real estate, you don't want all your eggs in one basket, right?
Yeah.
I have a listing coming up, and this woman, I'm dealing with the sister who's the power of attorney, but the owner of the house, I sold it to her, I want to say 4 years ago. This woman has accumulated $8,000 a month in retirement income. Never ends. And she just got placed in a memory care facility. She can't use any of her money and has to sell the house. What a sad story.
That is.
A lot of people don't have $8,000 a month in retirement, to enjoy. And this poor woman's got it, and she can't use it, can't do anything.
That's why it's good to have a trusted advisor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that non-compliant client that I think it closed yesterday. She's I can't talk to her on the phone, and it was a mail away closing. So we'll see. Like you worked with an agent here that said she could sell this, fix this house up, sell it for 700 grand, and he was just going to be her partner on it, and it was 450. And up until a month ago, he was still mad. He's like, "We're going to split the profit, right?" She's like, "There ain't none, son." And I think like that, and that's one of the reasons, like, everything we do is based on influence and Cialdini, and like I want to make sure that everyone that I know knows that I'm going to put your interest first. Like, if you should be in a DST and like I lose money, quote unquote, like that's what I'm going to do. Like I'm going to tell you the truth. If my favorite was, like, "Hey, look, in some ways I'm a terrible realtor. I'm going to tell you not to sell your home if you're wanting to build wealth." But that's, the right thing to do. And there ain't a lot of people like us, and so how, in a cool way, can we kind of shout that from the rooftop so that they know, oh man, like these are people I can come to for trust and advice, and such a different way to do things.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Jerry, what are you thinking?
I was just kind of thinking about the whole. So Dale, a question: the lady with the 8,000 a month, she has to sell her house because the 8,000 a month isn't enough. Is that what the reason was?
No, she can't take care of the house. And so her memory care bill where she's staying is $10,000 a month. She's got $8,000 a month coming in, and then they'll just start drawing $2,000 a month off the equity of the house. And the sister will put it into whatever investment she can, some safe investments like CDs or whatever, there will be there. And there's probably about $100,000 in equity after everything's said and done. But at least she had that equity, because before buying this house, she didn't have anything. She was a lifelong renter.
Sure. So Charlie, in answer to your question, I was just thinking about, shouting it from the rooftops, and just thinking about when I have a customer and I'm saying, okay, here's what I'm seeing for rates, here's the background, it's your decision, but here's what I'm seeing. And just the feeling that it gives you when people say, okay, I trust you, let's just, do what you think is best in this situation. The feeling that gives is just so good. And I'm thinking that, yeah, shouting that from the rooftops is a good thing, because unfortunately, as you said, there's not a lot of people that do that well, and it's unique enough that it should be granted to the people that want to work with us.
Yeah. And I've found the people that usually shout from the rooftops are the people least likely to do that. And our best referrals while you sleep clients are us. Like, we're the people, I built it for me. I don't want to spend my time marketing. I want to spend my time masterminding like this, finding amazing solutions, taking care of my clients, and loving on my kids. The famous marketer Dan Kennedy, he said, "Be the wizard, beware the wizard." And what I got from that is usually the person that shouts it from the rooftops takes care of their clients the least. It's very rare. And it lets us, and part of it is because I compare myself to you guys. I don't compare myself to the average person. I'm always thinking I need to get better, and I can get better. And I'm a perfectionist. And so it feels weird for me to really market. So our referrals while you sleep is grown through referrals, because it feels weird for me to shout it from the rooftops that, hey, this is really cool. And I kind of built referrals while you sleep to market me, so I don't have to do it myself. Otherwise, I'm going to be my own blocker, because I'm kind of shy and embarrassed. It's true. Kind of my embarrassing admission
it's really
for the
hard
day.
for me to brag on myself. Really hard. Because when I see other people doing it, I just kind of blow them off.
Right.
That's why the book was such a struggle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I finished my book today with Jeff, so that ought to be good.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
nice.
Nice.
Yeah, my appointment is Tuesday.
So a really cool idea is Rick Angel. He posted a thing yesterday that he was going to a listing appointment and he's going to take his book with him. But he added to the book a bookmarker. And in that bookmarker, it tells some more stuff. And I thought that was a fantastic idea, because
Oh, I like that.
so go into the Buy Referral Only Facebook page and find Rick. And I asked him to post what the bookmarker said on it so I could, copy it or use part of it. And he did. I just haven't read it yet. But that bookmarkers is just a fantastic idea, because who knows, they might take it to another book.
Probably
I
want
like
to
that.
put 3 or 4 bookmarkers in it. I can put this one in this book.
Well, it is right at 1. I've got another appointment coming up. Thank you, guys. If you need anything, let me know. Dale, we're set for next week.
Yep, sounds good.
All right.
Thank
See you guys.
everybody.
Have
See
a
you
good
guys.
week.
Bye.